Hi, my name is Stella Martin, and I'm one of the mothers living with the toxic landfill in Palenville, New York. We've done a couple posts about how the town of Catskill has been bullying me with bogus code violations, and we previously did a video how the town of Catskill has now illegally condemned my house. That started last year when I received some bogus code violations for my house, and all of this started with one was having a two-family dwelling without a special use permit, which I proved that was wrong. That was because I had a friend of mine staying there. Pardon me, a friend of mine that was staying there for security reasons. We had people stalking our property throughout the nights for nearly 2 years, but it was not a two-family dwelling. Also for performing work without a building permit, which my ex-husband did some work while he was there that I did not know he didn't get a permit for. I was just there, mother raising my kids. I didn't know what was going on with that, but I faced that. And myself and Elliot Fishman entered into a contract last year, and I upheld my end of the contract within a matter of weeks. I spent thousands of dollars on an engineer, a New York State certified engineer. I spent money on a New York State certified electrician. I purchased a building permit. I did everything he asked me to do, and I paid a lot of money to do that. And he didn't uphold his end of the bargain, where he told me that he would come and do the walkthrough to make sure all the work was done, which that's all he needed to do because everything else was certified by an engineer and a certified electrician. Which case he didn't do that. Instead, he decided to follow through with these code violations, which began November 3rd. I was served only a few days before November 3rd of 2016, and just a matter of days. And next thing I knew, I'd go to court, and there was a court order slapped upon me to allow Elliot Fishman, who is a town code enforcer, the president of Santos and Associates, and another gentleman, Fred Pop, to come into my house and take pictures all over my house. Meanwhile, it was only a certain area, which was the downstairs, that they were there to inspect. And instead, they're there with this court order that the judge gave them free reign throughout my house. Now, I am a resident. I still have my rights, and that was against my rights. And with an officer, a state trooper, at my house for these two to walk through my house and take pictures of whatever they wanted. As time went, the judge put it off for 2 months for the holidays. It was his idea to put it off. Then I met with him. The last time, like we posted for the video, was last Thursday, where I go into town court. Meanwhile, town court is normally at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That's for town court with this judge. Now, the last couple times I've been in court, I'm there at 1 o'clock, way before court hours. Nobody is there. It's me, the town attorney, Michael Smith, and Elliot Fishman, the code officer, and Judge Wooten. There's nobody else there. So they're having me come in at just a ridiculous time. I had asked for the recordings of these court proceedings because you're not allowed to record the court proceedings. In which case, especially because the first court proceeding, I said, I don't believe that this is being processed correctly. I asked for an attorney, and it was denied. They went ahead, and he gave me a court order for these people to come to my house, which it should have stopped then, because I have a right to an attorney. Like I said, and the next thing I know, they're at my door with a state trooper and a court order that I didn't even see yet. So this past Thursday, going to court, my head is spinning because Elliot Fishman and Michael Smith have all these new issues that I had never even heard was an issue. Next thing I know, Judge Wooten, and it was him, the code enforcement officer, the town attorney didn't ask for it, but he threw his hands up and said he's condemning my house. So he said that there was a week for a friend of mine who's staying there. He has to get out of my house and my property. Now, condemnation is a process that is used for unsafe, unstable dwellings, which I have proof from what I did with the engineer last year and everything, that my house is not unsafe, it is not unstable, and they have all this information. But he still is giving my friend a week, so my friend will be homeless. Well, he said a week, but then they said it would take a couple days to get the court order, Yeah, okay, the court order. I'll tell you that in a minute. In which case, they're giving him till Saturday night at midnight to leave the house. During this week, I have been doing a process to appeal their decision. It is not up to a town court judge to appeal my house or to condemn my house. And so I go to the town court. I also would like the recordings because it's showing that I had asked for representation and it was denied and continued to move forward. So then I needed to give the town court, the notice of appeal. And I asked for the court order of exactly what is going on and a court order for this. Okay, so this is what I got when I went to the town court when the judge is condemning a family's home. And this is the town court clerk.
Hi, can I get a copy of the court order that Judge Wooten did on Thursday?
The court order, I don't have a court order on that. Hang on. I don't have anything. I think it was that they were going to go in after the 4th. It was just a court order orally in the courtroom. It wasn't a written court order. He just stated in the court.
To condemn my house, there's no.
Well, there's not. Well,
court.
It was that the house had to be emptied by the 4th, and then after that, I don't have anything after that. I have to go up to code. And then I don't. He stated in the courtroom that he was ordering it. He doesn't have to write a court order.
The attorney and the code enforcement officer both asked for that in writing, and
right. I don't have it yet. It has to be vacated by the 4th, and then it was going to be condemned, if I remember correctly.
Well, all it was is condemned for nobody to be living there.
Right, but they have to wait till he was given till the 4th to vacate the property. I don't know. I wasn't listening to the full particulars of it. That he would have to be vacated by the 4th, and then after that, after he was out, they were going to condemn it. I'm not sure. I don't remember because I wasn't.
Well, I know they said that. So, I mean, they're condemning somebody's house and not even a court order written out for it.
Well, he ordered it, but I think he ordered it. The court order was going to be signed after they found that the person had vacated. I don't know. The judge isn't here, and I have to look.
Right. Well, here is this. So I was told this comes to you. And then I need some sort of timestamp or something, so that proves that I've given that to you.
I actually sent you. So his name is spelled wrong on it. He spelled his name wrong.
I need some type of written proof or kind of index number or something that my house is condemned. I can't believe that they can do that without.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, look, if you're ready to go up by code. Well, there is no index number.
Well, right now, all I need is proof that you received this.
You need a stamp?
Well, if you make a copy of that and then. So there's no index number?
Well, no, we don't have index numbers. We're a town. County only files index numbers.
And also, did you hear back from Albany, I guess, to be able to record my...
I don't go in my email every day, and then I had left early on Tuesday.
So I can come in and record my...
No.
Why is that?
Yeah, I can't get my transcript from my first court date.
Code 2019A is... Actually, this isn't what the Attorney General's office said.
Well, this is what the 3rd Judicial District sent to me, and that's what I have to abide by.
actually receiving a call from them also. And this is my own trial. You guys didn't allow any recording to take place. The judge and the court broke the law the entire process, and I can't even come in and get the proof I need for this. And what exactly did they tell you?
Well, it's right there in the letter.
But what did they tell you?
I called him and I talked to him, and he said he would send me something down in the
It ends in like 56 seconds, but what I was doing there was asking her for the transcripts again for the first court date, for the first court appearance. When I asked her last Thursday, when the night my house got condemned, when I asked her for the recordings, she told me that I am not, I cannot get the court recordings, and you're not allowed to record in there. And if I wanted them, that I would have to contact a New York State certified stenographer, and it would cost $700 to $800 per court appearance to get it written out for the court recordings. $700 to $800 for a recording that proves that it's been a legal process and nobody else can record in there. So that was another issue. I was told by a gentleman from the Attorney General's office that there is a code 2019-A to be able for the public to go in there and record from the documents, which Town of Catskill is denying me that. But this, the court order that I'm asking for was 1 week after the court where he condemned my house, and 2 days before the condemnation of my house and for my friend to be homeless because of this illegal condemnation, that there is still no court order, that it's verbal. Sorry about that. So she told me there is no court order yesterday, and that it's only a verbal order. So 2 days before my house is to be condemned. Next thing I know, I got home and there was an email from Michael Smith, the town attorney, the same afternoon, Thursday, 1 week after the court, after they said condemnation, 2 days before condemning it. And he says, just for your information. So he has sent me what appears to be a court order, although it's not even signed, which I don't believe it even puts it in effect. And it has what the court order is looking for. Now, if I would have gotten this last week, last Thursday, Friday, I would have had a chance to do some of what they're asking, and instead they're giving it to me. And I heard now it just got signed today, which is the day before my house is getting condemned, of issues that I could have stood up to. I could have shown them the proof that, again, that I spent thousands of dollars last year on the engineer reports they're asking for in here, and new issues I haven't even heard of yet in this court order. I am going to post this court order on the post for the landfill site, the whole thing, and this is very disturbing. So it says, order the occupants shall vacate the dwelling no later than midnight, Saturday, March 4th, except the occurrence of an emergency related to the dwelling or compliance with the terms of this order. No person shall thereafter enter or occupy the dwelling in such time that outstanding safety and related issues raised by the Town of Catskill Code Enforcement Office are remedied and set forth below to the satisfaction of said office. For me to purchase and hire a licensed New York State professional engineer to certify the Town of Catskill Code Enforcement Office that all structure modifications for the finished basement has been done. I did that. I have the engineer certification that they got last year, which every time I went to court for these bogus code violations, I gave the town judge. The town attorney, and Elliot Fishman all have the engineer report saying that my house is fine. It is safe. It is sturdy. All of the work was complied with and was done by New York law. I did this all. Now they're telling me I have to hire an engineer again and do the entire process. I am a single mother with 3 children and now disabled because of a toxic landfill. They allowed to be created next to my house, and the Town of Catskill failed to protect us. They failed to protect my family, my children, the other family, these wetlands. The Town of Catskill has laws, And they're laws to protect us. They are not laws for them to abuse people with because we don't act and behave that they want us to. It was their responsibility, along with many others, to help protect us from this landfill and the illegal operations that were happening right next to our properties. Again, this landfill and this property, this business owner operated for nearly 10 years. 3 businesses from this property with no precautions in place had no town or county permits at all. The town knew about it for years before it finally came to a head, and we had to hire an attorney to force the town of Catskill to make this guy go and get permits. At which point even the town planning board admitted all 3 of his activities are not even zoned for this area, but they squeezed him into certain little areas. He still does not comply with the site plan review. The little tiny restrictions that they put on his property, he still doesn't comply with, and there are still no violations for this property owner at all. But I have bogus code violations that have now led to a punishment by the town of Catskill as my house is condemned. I have to spend thousands of dollars more on engineers, on other issues that I have already proven to them I have, and I have done, and my house is not unstable. They are. But anyway, so they're telling me I need to hire the professional engineer again. And what else? Do the building permit again. I have that. I already paid for that. Many things there. I have to put a railing down, a flight of stairs that goes down from the top level to the bottom. That wasn't there, but they never told me about that. I would have put a railing. Maybe if they told me, or if I would have known about this court order a week ago, I could have had all of this proved and done and over with. They're trying to mess with my septic tank, where I had a professional septic gentleman there, and also my engineer. I paid him to dig it up twice to say that my septic system is not only the correct size for the many bedrooms in my house, that it is operating correctly. Yeah, Judge Wooten last week said, well, we can't depend on a person that only sucks out crap from a septic system if it's correct. All right, well, I don't know about anywhere else, but the septic companies here, they don't just come and suck out the crap in somebody's septic tank. They build them and they fix them, and they know what they're talking about. It's not just putting a hose to the crapper and sucking it up. All right, so, but yeah, that wasn't good enough. I guess it's not professional enough for them. Although my engineer dug it up twice. You know how much it costs to pay an engineer to dig up your septic system? That's hundreds of dollars alone. And he did that and has said everything is working appropriately for my septic system, and it's also the correct size of my house. But yet they're still asking for that. Another one, retain a licensed engineer, certified cone office for a wood stove that I have in my basement that I have never heard anything about. Again and again, this certified engineer has already been in the downstairs, looked around, and has not, and has said my house is safe. I got help from a local group to help with the wood stoves and everything, and windows, and it was a professional group that did this. Anyway, this was not even known about until I got this court order. The judge is finally signing today. My house is condemned tomorrow. I could have, like I said, fixed some of these issues. I also I have to sign a sworn affidavit that both the basement and the first story will solely be renewable energy. That I heat my house with wood stoves. I have 3 wood stoves. That I have to swear that if I move it to wind, solar, or anything else, I will comply with the current energy code of state. Now, yeah, that's really a reason to condemn somebody's house, right? Because you want them to sign an agreement that if I get any type of other heat, that I will let them know. So that's one reason why my house is condemned, and what they want to uncondemn my house. But it's not just my house condemned. As you'll see when I get towards the end of this, it appears that not just are they kicking my friend out, making him homeless. It'll also be a $500 fine every day for the days that these aren't completed. So like I said, I wish I would have known this more than a day before my house is due to be condemned, and whatever they're going to do tomorrow midnight, when they said, like the woman said in the recording, oh, when they come in there after it's condemned and locked. So these jokers are going to be going in my house, walking all around my house. They're also telling me I can't go in there. I have half of my family's belongings. I have a lot of our things that are still there. Myself and my kids, we had to get up and move from there last June because of the toxic exposure killing me and my kids. Although I couldn't take everything all at once, I figured, okay, well, it's my house. I mean, I can go ahead and leave it there, which is the reason why our friend has been staying there, so our belongings aren't messed with. And now they're telling me I can't go and get my belongings. And now I doubt they're going to be safe. And these people are going to be able to go walk around inside my house. So another, again, for another engineer for the existing septic system, which I've already done approved. And then a sworn affidavit that there shall only be a total limit of 3 bedrooms in the dwelling, including an upstairs and downstairs living spaces. That's a reason to condemn somebody's house, is because they want me to sign a sworn statement that my house will not be used for more than a 3-bedroom house. So, and there's like a few more things that are in here. In the event of bedrooms are not compliant, such bedroom must be made complaint, etc. So the last part, contemporaneously, okay, with defendant's commencement of compliance with this order, the Town of Catskill Enforcement Office shall be given written notice. Said office shall have access to inspect the dwelling during the period in which efforts to bring the subject dwelling into compliance takes place. A violation of this order shall be subject to a fine of $500 per day for each day or part of a day that the violation continues. It appears to me that this is not just condemning my house, that these brand new issues that they have brought up, or issues that I've already proven wrong by spending thousands of dollars on, that they're going to charge me $500 a day until I fix these issues, starting tomorrow. I didn't even know about these issues, and this court order just got signed today, the day before my house was condemned. So how much is this going to rack up? $500 a day as these things sit there, but I'm not allowed to go there except working on there. And these people can walk into my house whenever they want. I am absolutely disgusted with this entire process, and I am being bullied with these laws, where these laws are here to protect the residents and the families. They're here to protect me, not to be used against me as the Town of Catskill sees fit, to bully the residents who don't play their games and ignore toxic landfills created next to their house that poisons their children. I was supposed to be a good little girl and get up and leave my house. And I was supposed to go ahead and deal with my kids and the permanent neurological damage that they have. And I was just supposed to get up and leave the house that I own outright. Take everything as a loss. Oh, well, yeah, here, take my house. It's all poison now. Oh, well, my kids are permanently damaged. We'll have to live with this forever. Oh, that's all right. I got to go anyway. And because I didn't play their game, because I'm standing up to protect my family and my home, they bully me with condemning my house. These laws are here to protect us. And we could not, myself and the other family and the other concerned residents, we could not get the Town of Catskill to uphold their laws. There is a town law against this exact type of dumping that occurred next to my property. And we could not get the Town of Catskill to uphold their own laws. There were many other laws that we brought up for the Town of Catskill, for the site plan review and everything else. For him not operating with a permit, he's not a solid waste landfill. Yeah, he's not allowed to be composting. He's not allowed to be receiving tons of fresh manure and putting it uphill for my well. But we could not get the Town of Catskill to uphold any of their laws. Instead, they saved all their laws to turn around and use them against me, to bully me. And it is obvious with this court. the way that this entire court process has gone. So I really wanted to let you guys know that. Yeah, I was also really amazed. I had asked, because of what the information the town court clerk had given me and how incorrect it was, in telling me there is no court order, telling me that I'd have to pay $700-800 per court process. Her name needed to be in some of the appeals that I filed with the Supreme Court, and they wouldn't give me her last name. Meanwhile, this is working with the town court as the clerk that signs off on many things for the judge and everything else. They work for the public. They work for us. And if you go and you give people bad information about the law, then that can come back to them. So I had every right to put her name into legal documents for this appeal. Meanwhile, they wouldn't give me her name. But you work for us. They seem to forget that. They're using the laws to protect their own investments, not us. And I have been amazed. I finally got the name of this woman, and unbelievably, her name was Leggio, which Leggio was the first town supervisor for the town of Catskill that began covering this up as the local municipality. I would go to the town board meetings. I had contacted him numerous times when I was finally able to comprehend and process what was happening next door and how illegal this business was operating. And he was the one who started protecting it as far on the local municipality level. It was being protected by the DEC and other agencies like that. But he started this with the local level. And I am amazed at all the levels of this local government. Now, if you're not married to, you didn't marry into, or you're some illegitimate son or daughter, you're not going to work for the town of Catskill or any of the local municipalities. The names of the families are all through the entire local municipality. The same names, the father, the daughter, their grandfather. So it's only the people in these certain families, and this has been going on for years. All these names go back many years through the town courts, which it doesn't give any other residents an opportunity to work for a local municipality unless you're married to them. And on all levels, the people protecting this property, their hands stretch throughout every aspect of this issue, on and through every level, from the town to the county. And it is a complete, full system of bullies that if you don't play their way, this is what happens to an outsider. And it's injustice, it's immoral, it's inhumane. When I wrote back to the town attorney, Michael Smith, when he finally sent his court order of issues I didn't even know they were bringing up, I wrote back and I couldn't help it. And I said, really, because permanently, neurologically damaging my children is just not enough for you guys? Really? It's unbelievable how I am marked as I'm the one causing all the trouble. I am the one marked, and it's a strange mentality to see the people who are doing this, that they honestly believe I'm the enemy. I did everything wrong. I didn't start this. All I did was respond. Okay? My kids were hurt. I worked hard for the house. I made it a home. They have damaged my kids in numerous ways. They've damaged me with the toxic dump they've allowed to be created, that they've dumped there themselves. All these names throughout all these local municipalities all go back to the time of the local hurricane that damaged Palenville, Hunter, Tannersville, all around our area, where a lot of our local debris ended up here as well, aside from the Hurricane Sandy debris illegally transported from Long Island and dumped on this property. There was a lot of local hurricane debris dumped here as well. Same names all throughout the town and the county. Well, they're still here. They're still all throughout doing everything they can to protect this. But like I said, the mentality of it to these people in forcing me to endure these laws that they're trying to impose on me that's illegal. Um, there's numerous ways of slander. It's unbelievable that they never once stopped and thought, wow, you know what? We should have stopped and said, I'm sorry, we did this to you and your family and your home. How can we make this right? Instead, they turned me into the enemy and continue to punish me. And I feel the first day they dumped one item of illegal debris was the day they already began to punish me. And so this is only ongoing punishment. So I'm sorry I didn't want to make this long, but I did want to get some of these issues in there. Um, so I hopefully I'll hear something today about the Supreme Court appeal that I put in. So you can't condemn somebody's property as punishment, and it's not for the town of Catskill uh, court judge that doesn't even have any legal background except for being a town Catskill judge to condemn my house. It's not unsafe. It's only further punishment. So I'm sorry I didn't want to take up this long, but I did want to explain this. It'll also be explained. This is the long version. The short version will be on the Palenville site. That will also have the court order attached to that. So I thank you all, and I thank you all for your support. I've met many amazing people, and when I stand up there, trust me, it's not just me up there. There are many people that stand beside me and with me, and I'm grateful for them all because it all helps give me strength. And I know that people care and people see the injustice. And with this being into our protected wetlands, I still continue to believe it's for us all. It's our environment. I mean, what do we want to leave our kids? So thank you all. Hope you have a good day.